I'm Preston Foster, coming your way with another episode of Waterfront. Take her in, Buck. Buck.
Sorry, Captain John. I was off someplace else, I guess.
Nice place.
There's a caravan now bringing my relief. I'm having dinner over at Captain John's house. Lieutenant, I've already told you all I know. I'm leaving it for you right where it came in. Bob Ferris is relieving me for the day, and he'll be here when you arrive. Goodbye. Hi, Captain John.
Hi, Jonathan.
Nice to see you, Buck. Hi. Bob, it's all yours now. Take good care of her. I'll try. People who think keeping a lighthouse a lazy man's job sure have been misinformed. Well, I've been on the phone the last half hour with the police.
The police?
Yeah.
What about?
Something that washed up on the rocks outside.
Captain John, I guess I ought to get back to the boat and give Sid a hand. The diesel's acting up.
All right, Buck.
First mate is acting kind of funny, John.
Yeah, there's nothing the matter with the diesels.
Buck's old trouble flaring up again?
I don't know. It might be.
Oh, it's been over 2 years since he served his time for that holdup. Ought to have washed it out of his mind by now.
Some stains are too deep to ever wash out. Well, come on if you want that supper. Mom's getting ready.
Coming, John, coming.
Jonathan, each new painting, the cowboys get bigger and the horses get smaller. How come?
Vitamins.
What's he got there? 3 guns?
Yeah, he always carried a spare. 3-gun Scotty, they called him. He was in that last book you brought me. Wiped out Black Bart's gang of rustlers, triple-handed. John, I want to show you what I phoned the police about. Come here, Bob. Came in with a high tide last night, and when the tide dropped this morning, there it was.
Another drowning.
He was dead before he hit the water. Somebody put a bullet through his head. That boy should forget his past once and for all.
Not when it's alive.
But the seaman's finance was held up, Captain John. And the evidence against Buck was strong enough to convict him.
I believe Buck.
He never denied that he drove the getaway car, and the car was his own, too.
Buck said he was tricked into it by the man who really did the job.
Yeah, I remember. A man named Rogel. But the police could never find any trace of him, though.
I still believe Buck.
Why?
Well, we've been to sea together quite a few times the last couple of years, and I believe him.
Some people would say you're a fool.
What do you say?
You're a fool. But I'm mighty proud to know you.
We're at the dock, Sid. Kill the engine. Where's Jonathan?
Oh, he had to go by the police station. He said he'd see you at the house a little later.
Oh. Well, why don't you knock off and go home?
Thanks, Captain.
You don't seem in any hurry to get home.
I'm not.
Buck?
Yeah?
I know you've been living with this jail sentence for the last couple of years. I thought you had it pretty well whipped. It seemed to flare up worse than ever today. Why?
I got a phone call from Rogel yesterday.
Rogel?
The man who got me mixed up in that holdup. The man who can prove I'm innocent.
What'd he call you for?
He offered to give me information that would clear me.
Well, you waited a pretty long time before he began to worry about you.
You don't believe any of this, do you, Captain?
Well, I believe all of it. Just want to be sure it makes sense.
Well, the thing he said that would clear me was proof against somebody else, somebody inside the Siemens Finance who planned the robbery in the first place.
Well, why doesn't he take that information to the police?
Well, that'd mean he'd have to go to jail, and he doesn't want that. From what I gather, he saw at the other guy and wants to put him in jail.
He wants to use you. That makes sense. Did he tell you the name of this other guy?
No, he said he couldn't say too much on the telephone, so he made an appointment with me for last night.
But you were here on the Cheryl Allen all night.
That's where he's supposed to meet me.
And?
He never showed up. For years, Captain John, I've been trying to run across this guy and make him admit that I wasn't guilty.
I never thought you were.
Captain.
All right, get out of here. Go on home. I'll finish up.
Like an Indian, huh?
Hi, Jim.
You didn't even hear me climb up here, did you? You know, when Carl and I were kids, used to tell us you had ears like an Indian.
Don't tell me Mom called the police department in to make sure I get home in time for supper.
No, not exactly, but I am here on some police business. Is Buck around?
No, why?
Well, they want to ask me a few questions at headquarters.
What about?
Sorry, Dad.
They must be pretty anxious about those questions to send a man down to the boat instead of phoning.
They are.
That serious?
That's serious.
You might try Buck's house.
Been tried, Dad.
He left the boat a couple of hours ago.
Buck hasn't been home since yesterday.
Jim, I don't want you to let out any department information, but are you reopening that hold-up case of a couple of years ago?
Looks like it.
Well, how did they tie Buck into the case?
Well, the office manager, a man named Rogers, was wounded after he was forced to open the safe. But he got to the window and spotted the license number of Buck's car.
Rogers?
In full, Gerald Mackenzie Rogers. Let me give you a lift home, Dad.
No, thanks, Jim. I've got an errand. I've got to find something for a friend of mine.
Oh? What?
Just peace of mind. Good evening.
Yes?
I'd like to see Mr. Rogers.
Oh, Mr. Rogers isn't home.
Are you Mrs. Rogers?
Everyone calls me Angela. It's friendlier. Won't you come in?
Thank you. I'm a great believer in friendship myself.
Are you?
Yeah, people have different ways of spelling it, though.
Well, here we are having a terribly deep conversation. I don't even know your name.
I'm John Herrick. No, thanks. Captain Herrick.
Oh, police?
Tugboat.
Oh, that's awfully nice. Tugs are such friendly little boats. They run around and around, pushing the big boats all over the place.
Yeah, where did you say Mr. Rogers was?
Oh, he's out on the harbor driving that speedboat of his.
Did he say when he might be getting back?
No. Oh, Gerald, this is John Herrick. He's a tugboat captain.
How do you do, Captain?
Hello?
What's on your mind?
A man named Ted Rogel.
Well, who's he?
You used to be office manager of the Siemens Finance Bank, didn't you?
That's right, a couple of years ago. Not anymore.
Well, this was about a couple of years ago.
Oh, wait a minute. You must mean the man who shot me during the holdup.
Ted Rogel.
I never did know his name. He didn't bother introducing himself.
His name was Ted Rogel.
Ted Rogel. Somebody else used to keep harping on that name. Of course, the man who drove the getaway car.
Buck Robbins.
Yeah, this brings up memories. What's the point?
Ted Rogel phoned Buck yesterday.
Really? Is Rogel thinking of going into business with Robbins again?
No. But he offered to tell him the name of the man that planned the holdup from the inside.
I have a headache. I'm going to...
Wait a minute, darling. What was the name, Captain?
We can talk about that some other time, maybe. I've got a date for supper. Good night.
Gerald, I'm afraid.
He's just a nosy fool.
He's no fool, Gerald.
It doesn't matter what he is. He doesn't know a thing.
What about the phone call?
Between Rogel and Robbins? It doesn't mean a thing. All they did was set up an appointment.
You don't know that.
Of course I do. If Rogel had named names, we would have had more than a tugboat captain dropping in.
Maybe they're holding off, waiting.
What for?
Oh, I don't know.
What you need is a drink.
What drink doesn't solve anything?
No, but it'll make you feel better.
Oh, you treat me like a child. When I have a tantrum, you give me a drink. You figure it'll soothe me, make everything all right again.
It usually does.
Get me the airlines terminal, please. I want some information on your next flight to Mexico City. Yes, Mexico City. Yes, I'll hold on.
We're not interested in flying anywhere.
It would be safe.
I get airsick too easily. Besides, it would be a dead giveaway. Now, hang up, darling.
They'd never find us. And, Gerald, you know I'm no good if they start hammering at me.
Nobody will. Drink up.
You despise me, don't you?
I always have from the first day I knew you. Despised you and loved you. I still do. Drink up, darling.
Hello?
Dad?
Yeah?
The news is being released to the papers. I thought you'd be interested, so I thought I'd better call you and tell you about it.
The police have picked up Buck Robbins?
No, not that. It just explains why we're looking for him.
All right, son, what is it?
Well, Dad, you know this Rogel that Buck's been talking about for so long?
Yeah?
The body that was washed up at the lighthouse this morning. When he was brought in, he was identified.
Ted Rogel.
I'm afraid so, Dad. You know, Buck has been looking for this Rogel for a long time. Looks like he found him.
No, Buck.
Captain John, this isn't my gun. It was planted in that locker. I don't own a gun. I never have. I read in the paper about Rogel. The police are going to think I killed him for revenge, but I didn't do it. I was going to pack a few things and make a run for it, but with this gun on me, I wouldn't stand a chance. Don't you believe me?
Of course I believe you. But we're not the kind that hides things and runs away. Are we, Buck?
Well, he's booked.
I feel sorry for Buck.
Well, you're burying him already.
I'll be reasonable, Captain John. He was running away when you caught him, and he had that gun. What about the gun, Jim?
Well, we won't be sure until ballistics works on it in the morning, Captain Walsh, but... Well, it's the same caliber bullet that we dug out of Rogel's skull.
Well, there we are. What are the odds it's the murder weapon?
No odds at all.
Murder weapon in his possession. He was preparing to run out. We know he hated Rogel, and no alibi for the time of the murder.
What time was it?
Coroner sets it to sometime late last night.
Buck was on duty on the Cheryl Land then.
Anyone see him there?
No.
Well?
It's worse than that.
Meaning?
Buck told me he had a date with Rogel late last night.
Where?
On the Caroline.
That closes it up tighter than ever, John. It explains how Rogel's body was found in the harbor. Buck shot him aboard the Caroline and threw him overboard. I'm sorry, John. I know how fond you are.
Your mind's made up, huh?
I haven't any choice. There must be a reasonable doubt someplace.
Why would Buck want to kill Rogel when he was the one man could have proved Buck was innocent of the holdup?
Just won't wash. That's assuming that Buck was innocent. But if he was guilty and hated Rogel for running out and leaving him holding the bag... John, your loyalty's a fine thing, but you can overdo it.
It's not loyalty, it's faith in a man.
Suppose he doesn't deserve that faith, then?
You don't deserve faith. It's either there or it isn't.
You know something, Dad? You're an awful stubborn character.
You find anything on the body?
Rogel?
Yeah.
Well, doesn't mean very much. Snapshot that clinched the identification, that's about all.
Who's the woman?
His wife?
You sure? She testify?
No reason to. She wasn't living with her husband at the time. What's so important about her?
I don't know what's so important about her.
Yeah.
Buck giving up? Hoping, I mean?
I don't know, but we haven't.
Got some plan in mind, Captain?
Angela and Rogers are in this thing together. As long as they stay together, I don't think we got much chance of breaking them down.
As three-gun Scotty would say, separate the bulls from the heifers, because the heifers drive easier.
That might do it. When are you going back to the lighthouse, Jonathan?
Oh, in about an hour.
Might be along to see you there in a while.
What are you going to do in the meantime?
Visit a heifer?
Huh?
A red-headed one.
Oh,
Good morning, Angela.
Captain Herrick, what a nice surprise. But I'm afraid you've missed Mr. Rogers.
I know I have.
Oh, do come in.
Thank you. Sure is a nice morning.
Sure is.
Seems like a shame to waste it.
Does, doesn't it?
I've got an idea what we might do with a morning like this.
Well, what sort of an idea, Captain?
I thought we might go for a ride on my tug.
Well, Captain, I think you're just a little bit confused.
Oh?
I must confess to you, I'm not basically an outdoor girl.
But you said you like tugs.
When they stay down in the harbor where they belong.
Jonathan's going to be disappointed.
Who's Jonathan?
He runs the lighthouse out on the breakwater.
Well, what's he have to do with me?
Well, I told him we might drop in. He'll be kind of disappointed, especially after seeing your picture.
My picture?
That's right.
Well, where did he get a hold of?
Found it on the body that washed up on the lighthouse rocks last night. Fellow named, what was it? Rogel.
Well, why didn't he show that picture to the police?
Jonathan's a funny old duck. Saw your picture and liked it. Figured the police could get along without it. Of course, he could change his mind any time.
Well, Captain, I was kidding. I'd be very glad to go for a ride with you on your tug. Well, let's head for the open seas, Captain.
Angela, this is Jonathan Beale. Jonathan, Angela.
How do you do, ma'am?
Lovely place. No one else live here?
No, ma'am.
You've got this house all to yourself.
That's right.
And all that water outside between you and the rest of the world. How cozy. Hey! The boat is leaving.
My orders.
But...
We're going to stay here for a while. Do you mind?
Get me the dispatcher's office of the Wellington Towing Company, please. Yeah. Oh, dispatcher's office? Maybe you can help me. I want to check and see if the tugboat Cheryl Ann is at the lighthouse. One of my pals is in the crew. Oh, it is. Thank you.
May I see it?
See what?
The picture.
Huh?
The one you took off the body that washed up here yesterday morning.
Oh, that one.
Jonathan probably keeps it upstairs with his valuables. Get it, will you?
Wait.
Jonathan doesn't know how important that picture is.
So what's so important about a picture of me?
Ties you in with a hold-up and murder, that's all.
What did you say?
It, reminds me of a story.
I'm not interested in stories.
I think you might be interested in this one. It's about a body that washed up out here yesterday. A man named Ted Rogel.
I don't.
Big question about him. He was mixed up in a hold-up here in town a couple of years ago. But he came back here. Why?
If you don't mind, I'd rather not listen.
The tug's not back yet. Where you going? I didn't find out until last night Rogel had a wife. Friendly sort of a girl. A little too friendly with another man. That's why Rogel came back.
It's a wonderful story.
He was going to give information to the police that would have sent this other man to jail, along with his own wife.
I don't care about Rogel or his wife
You
or...
should.
Why?
You're his wife. That makes Rogers the other man. Explains why Rogers shot Rogel and threw him in the harbor. Then planted the gun on Buck Robbins.
I don't know anything about a murder.
You could tell that to the police now and they might believe you.
You mean if I told them about Gerald, the police might let me go?
They might.
Then I'll tell them that Robbins didn't have anything to do with it. That girl's got to think of herself, hasn't she?
You started thinking too late, Angela, darling.
Gerald.
Move. Yes, Gerald.
Oh, Gerald, I really didn't mean it. I was only kidding him along.
It didn't sound like a joke to me.
Gerald, I promise I won't tell.
I know you won't.
No.
The only picture I could find up there was one of a horse.
Take the wheel, will you, Buck? Buck!
Huh?
You off someplace else again?
No, just clearing up a few things in my mind. Mostly the past.
Yes?
But now I'm home to stay.
Well, we hope you enjoyed tonight's story, and that you'll be with us next week for another episode of Waterfront.